So the topic of the day is our first Holy Communion. I have lots of pictures. Let me open the whiteboard. Well, I said I would go last. Cindy, do you want to say anything about your picture or anything at all about First Holy Communion? That's Cindy's picture right here. I'll just blow it up.
Yeah, it was a nice thing. It was
Do
nice.
do you remember anything about your First Holy Communion?
I remember it was at St. Joan of Arc and it was with my class. And I have the rosary and I have a little book.
Okay, it looks like you're holding your little book there. Yeah, I posted some stuff on Facebook. Yours, I think, is one of the first in terms of the day. They all happen in May, right, sister? First Holy Communion. They all pretty much happen in May.
It was May 15th, my anniversary.
Oh,
That's you're talking about yours now. Cindy, are you all through talking about your First Holy Communion?
Yes.
Okay. I'll blow up Sister Margaret Mary's.
oh,
You say that was May 15th?
Yes,
Okay. Well, you have one of the more elaborate dresses. That's cool. Did your mother make that also?
no, she didn't make that one. She bought it for me. I was always the shorter one in my class and in the procession to go up for communion. I was always one, me and my partner were first in line because we were so short. And then I don't remember any particulars besides that.
Well, that's a studio picture. You can tell it's a studio picture. I don't know that I didn't do a real thorough search. I may not have any other photos other than that one.
Well,
Let me
that's a beautiful one. It's enough.
that's very nice.
It's very nice. What I want to do is I want to show this. I don't have a picture of our mother, Mildred Siegfried, but that's her first Holy Communion book. And then, of course, I
Yeah.
took pictures of the inside too. So that's real nice. I mean, the little missal, I guess you call them a missal,
Mhm.
and rosaries. Those are the main artifacts that one would save, right? From your first Holy Communion, your rosary and your prayer book or your missal. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Maybe some holy cards.
Yeah.
Okay, do anybody have any questions about
That's from your mother's holy cards.
that's actually I have her entire book. That's the cover of the book.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have lots of other stuff, but I'm gonna just show like the highlights. But for the most part, I only have one thing to show for each person. Well, you can see me already, right? But
Right.
I'll talk about me last. Okay, here's Barb and Jimmy Stockert. And Sister, no, that's Sister Bernadette. That is not Sister Margaret Mary. I may have one with Sister Margaret Mary, and I think that is Sister Bernadette. But that's Jimmy Stockert and Barbara Nagley, right
How
there.
nice.
Oh,
Isn't that neat?
Is that not very nice?
And then, of course, this is Connie. I'm going to just show the picture of Connie. Let me see if I could. How can I bring it to the front?
Looks like I have the same outfit on as Connie, maybe the same one as Barb.
You think you was a hand-me-down?
oh,
Did you have? Is that the dress you have? Same dress?
Doesn't it look like the same veil? I mean, there's nothing wrong with sharing it. It's
no.
fine.
No, I don't think so. And then this, of course, looks like Barb. Let's look at Barb. We can see that. That looks like a different veil to me. But maybe it's the same dress. Okay. So we showed Barbara, we showed Sister Margaret Mary, Connie. I'll show, I guess what we'll do is we'll show, wait a second. What happened? Let me go up here.
Cute.
And let me,
Yeah, I haven't
pull that
changed
up.
my looks.
That's a
That's
pretty good
me.
picture. And then, of course, that date was 1965, Linda,
Mine was 66.
66.
Yeah. So I
Why
would
don't you
have,
make mine smaller so we can see Linda's?
Well, I just thought I made hers big. There's a lag in Zoom. You're probably not seeing the same thing I'm showing. You don't see it big now?
no, it's
Yeah,
kind of
but it's
covered.
behind my picture and behind your picture.
I think there's a lag. Right now, this is your picture. Then backward.
You can kind of see part of the leg in there.
Yeah, that's what I see as your leg. Anyway, when I saw it, it was cute.
Thank you. They're all cute. I think they're all really nice.
All right, Ann's not here, but I have something of her mother's. I think I said it was her missile, but I think it's more of like, here, I'm trying to grab it. There we go. Let me bring this up. Bring to front. This is actually her mother's. It says Mary Rothermel, but I think her name is Mary Veronica Dolly Rothermel. And of course, she married, what's his name? And she was here, she could speak for
Emmanuel?
herself. Let me go to Facebook so I don't have to. All right, so I want to go and explain more about that. I finally figured it out. I had that card and I didn't know who it was, but it's from Aunt Rose. So who I think Aunt Rose is her mother's aunt was Rose Rothermel, who married Charlie Rothermel. So that all plays together. And of course, her mother married her full name is Mary Veronica Dolly Rothermel, and she married Leo Andrew Maher. That's why she signs herself Maher. Uh, uh, Whatever her last name is. And Leo and anyway, her mother and our mother, Millie, were born in the same year. I don't know how I ended up with that, how she ended up with that card. Sister Margaret Mary, do you know anything about this card at all?
No, I don't.
Okay, but that's who it is. It's Mary Rothermel. And of course, I'm recording this, so if Anne wants to go back later and look at it, she can. But it's from Aunt Rose. Aunt Rose was, let me go back. Aunt Rose, her father is Leo Andrew Maher,
Hmm.
and their parents were remember Emil Rothermel and Jenny Trainer. Remember they died tragically in
Right.
1928, 1927. And that was about the time that they would have she would have had, her mother would have had her first communion.
Oh,
So it all plays together. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. The only thing I don't know, and of course, I don't have very many roses, and it all plays together. Her aunt was Rose Rothermel. Let's see, Rose Bombeck was her maiden name. So it all plays together. Okay. So there's
So
a.
that's strange that mom would have known her, but Sister Margaret Mary didn't know them. Remember, sister, you said you didn't know about
I
Emmanuel?
remember the name Dolly Rothermel, but I don't remember much about it. Just the name strikes.
Well, they died in 1920. She'd have only been 4 years old, Cindy, when she died. So yeah, let's give sister a break. And, afterwards, her grandmother, who was from Ireland, remember, would have come and picked her up
Right.
and taken her, and then we discovered her only through DNA tracing. Anyway, that's the story that I thought would be interesting to share with everybody. I'll read the prayer, since I do have a prayer for her. And they all came with prayers. Remembrance of First Communion. What shall I offer thee, O Lord, in return for the innumerable mercies? I offer thee my heart. Take it and grant that under the influence of thy divine love, it may grow daily more and more a living image of thy sacred heart, that I may never again stay from thee, and that every day of my life may resemble in my love that of my first communion. Amen. And it's addressed to Mary Rothermel, and who I think Mary Rothermel is. It's Mary Veronica Dolly Rothermel. And it's from Aunt Rose, and I think Aunt Rose is Rose A. Bombeck Rothermel. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Don't you think that's a nice little story?
Yes, it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple things. I don't remember a lot about it. I remember I think when you're young, you're so young and innocent and everything. And I just remembered feeling like that was like a very holy, special day. And I'm like, sister, I was always one of like a little taller in my class. So I remember my church, it wasn't real big, but it had like a basement and we progressed up from the basement. But because I was one of the taller ones, I was more towards the back. And I know in the school picture, because we had like a really large school picture. I should have sent you that too. I think there was like maybe four like levels, if you will, and I think I was the third one from the back. But I remember when we came up singing "Holy, Holy, Holy," and I that's always kind of stuck with me. And I just remember like I was just like in my glory on that day. I just remembered feeling like that was like a very special, like a very reverent, solemn occasion, which it is.
Anyway, that's what I guessed your first communion was 1964. Mine was 1956, 1955 for Connie, probably 1953 for Barbara. Uh, and then we just heard about Linda's
Mine was 66.
1966. Yeah. All right. So the only thing else I have to talk about is me. I'm going to let you look at my picture.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a studio picture, obviously. Let me put that in front. Bring to front. You don't see it immediately. It's because there's a lag. Okay. That's my
Mhm.
background picture too. I have other pictures, but I'm going to show that one. What I want to do now is I have a letter from Sister Margaret Mary, and I'm going to just read it to you. And I have a response to her letter that I'm going to read also. Now, I can't say that it's the actual letter. This is the letter from Sister Margaret Mary on May 8th, 1956. Dear Chucky, may our dear Lord give you many graces and blessings as you receive him in Holy Communion for the first time this coming Sunday. I shall pray for you, especially at Mass and Holy Communion, and beg God to draw you closer and closer to his Sacred Heart day by day. Be a very good boy always, Chucky, and go to Holy Communion as often as you possibly can. Our Lord will help you to grow in grace. May our Blessed Mother Mary intercede for you on your first Holy Communion day and always. God love you, Sister Margaret Mary. Isn't that a nice letter?
That's very
Yes.
nice.
Hey, here's my response. Dear Sister Margaret Mary, thank you for the nice letter. I'm excited for my first Holy Communion on Sunday. I'll try to be a good boy and receive Holy Communion often. I'll pray to God and ask Mary to help me to be close to Jesus. Thank you for praying for me. Love, Chucky. How do you like
Aw.
that? Is that a good response?
Yeah,
That's very nice.
very
Now,
good.
it came a little late, sister. I apologize. This is like 1956. You're getting a response in 2025. So that's like 67 years or something late. But you probably got a response from me back then too. Okay, I'm going to read another letter to you. This one is from Father Paul. Let me read it. May 7th, 1956. Dear Chucky, next Sunday you will receive Jesus in Holy Communion for the first. I think he says this coming Sunday you will receive Jesus in Holy Communion for the first time in your life. Jesus will come hidden under the appearance of bread, but it will truly be Jesus himself who comes to you. When you go back to the pew after you have received, thank him for coming, tell him you love him truly and want always to love and serve him. Then ask from Jesus all the favors and helps you need and want for yourself and for those you love. Ask him especially to bless and protect your mother and daddy and Barbie and Connie. Now, Cindy wasn't around yet. And Barbie and Connie, tell him you want your family to stay together and happy in heaven. Okay, ask him to bless grandma and granddad, and if you think of it, Father Paul too. I'm going to offer Mass to God the Father on the morning of your first Holy Communion, just for you, Chucky, and for all the blessings you need. May your love for Jesus only grow greater all your life long. My love, Father Paul. Do you like that letter? That's a good letter too, don't you think?
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay, brace yourself. Here's my response. Again, like 69 years later or something. Dear Father Paul, am I doing the math right? 44 and 25 is what, 67 years later? Dear Father Paul, thank you for the letter. I'm so excited to receive Jesus in Holy Communion for the first time next Sunday. I'll make sure to thank him and tell him I love him. I'll ask him to bless Mommy and Daddy, Barbie and Connie, Grandma and Granddad too. I'll ask him to keep my family together and happy in heaven. Thank you for offering Mass just for me. That makes me feel special. I promise to love Jesus more and more every day.
Oh,
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
so innocent. Yeah, very nice.
Isn't that great? I think that's great. Okay, that was my contribution to this fall First Holy Communion. I think we covered it all.
Picture to the right, and I know you talked, and I guess that's a holy card. I know you talked about that a little bit. Do you know what that year that dates from approximately?
Well, yeah, that's May 1928.
Okay, I missed that earlier.
Dolly would have been, Dolly's born in 1920.
Okay,
No, that's Anne's Cantor. I was trying to think of her last name. Anne
okay.
Cantor's mother, she was born the same year my mother, Mildred Siegfried, was born. So they
Uh-huh.
both, and then of course, unfortunately, in her case, her parents had died about that same time too.
Oh.
1927, 1928 for her mother and her father. But I thought that was, I could never place that card. And I finally, I just, when I got ready for this meeting, I was thinking about it. I said, well, who's Rose? Fortunately, I have a pretty good ancestry file system, and I was able to figure it out. It's got to be. Maybe when we talk to her, she can, give her opinion. But it doesn't surprise me that Aunt Rose would have addressed her as Mary, because her real name was Mary Veronica, and so. And then her aunt definitely is Rose, and that's about the only Rose Rothermel that I know of. So, and it's the dates play together real well. But yeah, I remember that it's like a lace.
It's beautiful.
It's like a lace card.